Hello class, Mr. Guarino here. In this video I'm going to illustrate how to make a shape tween. So here I have on the screen right now a shape tween that I have worked on. Actually I have three open, so let me show you this, my first sort of generation. So I have a shape tween morphs one shape into another. So I have the rectangle going to my name. And then I also included a little motion tween, just to have the star fly in and hit another shape. So rectangle to my name sits there, but then my name shape tweens into like an oval, which then does more shape tweens. Or I basically broke it into four pieces and had them change shape into little stars in the corner. Now the problem with this, I mean, it's good, it's nice. The one thing I would do to improve this, and this is something you certainly can do, I'm going to show you how to do it. The one thing I would do to improve it is when it ends over here, these stars, by default, Adobe Animate animations, when you put them on your website, they repeat forever. And so this one, the stars are going to be here, but they're going to go away really quickly when this thing goes to play again. Here's the looping thing. I could put that on, and I think you can adjust. If I can get my mouse to not be so jumpy. Oops. So like you could drag this in, and you could move it over, and you could loop part of the animation, but I want to loop the whole thing. So let me move this over to here and bring this all the way back to the beginning. And then when I hit play, you'll see what I mean. So the stars don't have a chance to sit there for the person looking at your animation to see what did those things change into. I mean, you could kind of see it, but it happens quick. So the one thing you could do in this animation would just to have these stars last a little bit longer, which I would just extend it by pressing F5. So now if I play it, let me extend my looping. Okay, so I think that would be better. Here's my next generation of that. And you'll see that it's the same thing, but I incorporated in just a little fade to black so that the stars would eventually go away. So all I did was put a rectangle in a motion tween, a black rectangle over the whole stage, and change its alpha property from invisible to totally visible, or from 0 to 100 and then back down to 0. So the rectangle is there, you just don't see it until it gets to this diamond right here. And then this diamond says turn the alpha back to 0, but by then the stars had ended because they end over here, right? And then I made it just a little bit better. I had the stars spin a little bit. Now to get the stars to spin, that was a little tricky because the stars are on a shape tween layer. That's Mr. G shape over here. So what I did right here is I basically copied them all from this frame to this frame and made the motion tweens so I could spin them. Now, you could do all of this, or you could just do the simpler one. I'm just showing you a bunch of things that I did because every time I was done, I was like, ooh, you know what else I could do? Ooh, you know what else I could do? So that might be you too, or maybe not. We shall see. So let's start a new one. How do you make a shape tween? So I'm going to leave it on, well, what happened to my preset? There we go. Go back to that. This is the one we're always choosing, 1280 by 720. Frame rate of 30, HTML5 canvas. Click create. Okay, so here's a new one. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a rectangle. And the rectangle is going to have no stroke, because when you morph a shape into your name, the stroke kind of breaks up really funny. So no stroke is better. And whatever color you want. Let me start with red this time. So drawing a red rectangle. And I want it centered on the stage, so I'll click the selection tool, click on this one time, go over to my alignment panel, align the stage. I'm not going to match the width and height because I don't want it the full size of the stage, but I am going to click this, align the horizontal, and align the vertical. So I guess I had it pretty good horizontally, right? I guess it moved just a little bit. Okay, so it's basically centered. Or it was pretty close to centered, now it is centered. How about if we do this? And then we'll really see. So move it that way, and move it that way. I guess when I drew it, it was so close I didn't even see it move. I guess I'm pretty good at that. Weird. Okay, so we have a shape. It exists on frame 1. I'm going to come out here to, I don't know, frame 45. And I'm going to press F7. So it extends my rectangle up to frame 44. But then at frame 45, I have a blank keyframe. So now I can draw something else. So I'm going to use my text tool, and I'm going to put in my name. Static text is fine. I like this impact font because it's kind of big and fat, so you can see the letters pretty easily. You can see that it's a pretty fat font. You can choose any font you want. But I'm going to make it a different color so that my shape not only goes from a rectangle to my name, but it also changes color. I'll make it blue. And then I'm just going to click in here and drag. And don't worry if it's not really where you want it. We'll change that. So MRG. And then I'll go back to my select tool and move this in the center. But let's really just do this. Align it this way. Align it that way. So now we know it's in the center. So now if I click here, if I right click here, and I say create shape tween, you're going to see I get all these dots. And the reason why I get all these dots is shape tween. You have to tween from one shape, well, rectangle is a shape, to another shape. But text is not a shape. So I can undo that, or I can leave it the way it is and force this to become a shape. And the way you force it to become a shape, while it's selected, you go up to modify and you say break apart. And then this dotted line will turn into an arrow. Now, if I broke it apart first, when I made it a shape tween, you would see the arrow right off because it would be like, all right, one shape to another shape, I can do it. So let's break apart. Now, you don't see an arrow here. And the reason for that is it broke it apart from a word into letters. It's still not a shape. So we have to break it apart one more time to go from letters into shapes. So modify, break apart. Now it's still, you don't see the arrow over here, and that's because this is all selected. So all I have to do is click away, and there's the arrow. I don't know why it delayed a little bit, but there it is. So you can see it works. So if I undo what I just did and put those back to individual letters, you can see that the arrow went away and it doesn't work. Okay, so each one of these has to be broken apart. The thing is, now I'm holding down shift and clicking, so I select them all. The thing is, once you break a text apart fully, click away again, and there's the arrow again, and it can now work. Now I can't go in there and edit this as text. It's a shape. I mean, I can edit it as I could edit any shape, but I can't go in there and retype it because I spelled my name wrong or something. It's now a shape, right? No longer text. So now I can come over here and press F5 and extend my name so that it changes shape, and then you get to see my name, because after all, on a shape tween with my name in it, I want people to see who made the shape tween and how would they be able to see it if my, let me undo this, if it only lasts for one frame and then it replays, are you ever really going to see my name? Let's see. So it's going to happen so quick. It's like it's hard to tell what was there, right? So it's best to extend this some. So now if I replay this, or loop it I should say, you have a chance to read the word, which is really just a shape. But now I want it to morph into maybe something else. So what if I draw another shape over here, like an oval? But I can't draw over here because I don't have anything, right? I don't have a frame there, so I have to press F7 to give me a blank keyframe. So now my name exists from here to here, and over here I'm going to draw an oval. No stroke. Let's do a different color. I don't know, maybe this green. Draw an oval. Same thing, let's select it and align it. And let's convert it to an object. Can we now do a shape tween to an object? So that still works, even though it's an object. But now my name, as soon as it appears, it's changing automatically, like immediately. I really didn't want that. I want it to stay there for a little bit. So let's undo that. Really what I want in here is to press F6. So I inserted a keyframe. Notice my name, oops, I didn't mean to go over to the oval. Notice my keyframe has my name on it. And basically I have two sections with my name. Nothing's changing. But now if I click here and I right click and I go to create shape tween, so then my name exists from here to here without changing, and then it changes to the oval. Okay, and then if you want the oval to sit there a little bit, you just extend it with F5. And if you want it to be visible for a while and then change, you just insert a keyframe and only change part of where that section is, one of the two sections, so that you can see the shape, whether it be your name or anything else. And so that's how you fiddle around with shape tweens. Now let's look at this on the internet. So to see your project, and I've named it Basic Shape Tween. Notice I put the underscores in between the words, because when you process this for the internet, it's going to make an HTML file, and as we know, we're not supposed to have spaces in HTML files, so if you want to include this in your website, you would have to make sure that you change the name of it to have no spaces. I put underscores in between. So now all you have to do is hit Control and Enter, and give it a couple seconds. And it saves it to whatever folder you had your project saved to, and it opens it in whatever browser is the default browser on your computer, and it plays the animation. But notice how it goes red rectangle, my name, the green oval, and then it just jumps back to red rectangle. There's something we can do to improve that. Even though we're really just calling this a basic shape tween, we can do something to make that look smoother. So I'm going to select all these frames. I'm going to click here and drag all the way to the beginning. And then I'm just going to right click and say copy frames. Then I'm going to click at the frame right after the end. And I'm going to right click and say paste frames. And then I'm going to click away, because while this is selected, if I click, I'll move the keyframe. So I'm going to click away and click in one shot and hold down, drag all the way to the end. And rather than trying to do some sort of animation where it starts with an oval, goes to my name, and goes to the rectangle, I can use the same exact animation sequence and just select it all, because I've copied and pasted it, right? So it's there twice. Select it all, right click, and just say reverse frames. So now it plays in reverse order. And the reason for that is it goes from the red rectangle to my name to the green oval, and then from here it's doing the green oval, and then my name, and then the red rectangle, so that it looks smooth on the internet by basically let it play forward and then backward so it ends up where it started. Let's look at that by doing Control Enter. So you can see it never jumps from the red rectangle to the green oval, because this first sequence plays in the order in which it was created, and the second sequence plays in reverse order, so it looks nice and smooth. So there's a basic shape tween with just a little tweak at the end to make it look smooth. Thank you.